Hello world. So, as you can see, it's the exact same day as I made that other video. And I may or may not post it on the same day, but who knows? So, this video I'm talking about some weird kids, but mainly weird kids in summer camp. So, when I was younger, I used to go to the summer camp that was called The Nest, and it was run by my mom's job. She works at a hospital, and sometimes those moms have it's mainly women that work there, but sometimes those moms that work there, they have kids but they don't have anywhere to put them, and they're really young kids, so they made like a daycare. So they take care of younger kids, but in the summer they have a summer camp for older kids. And sometimes the younger kids that go to there as school, sometimes they join in too, but it's mainly just for older kids. So when I went there, I was about maybe 10 to 13, somewhere around there. I think 13 was the oldest you could be at. But I want to talk to you about some of my fun experiences while I was there, mainly being weird children. So I'm just going to make up some random names in case they see this video and they're like my age and it just winds up being like an awkward comment or something. So we'll start off with this one kid, and as you can see, I'm not using a list because hopefully I can remember everything, because also I was just kind of lazy and just forgot to write down everything. So I'm just going to try to remember things. So the first kid we're going to talk about is this really annoying kid. So let's just say his name was Bob. Yeah. So Bob was really annoying, and he had no friends. He had no friends because he was just really annoying. So, he just liked to bully like the younger kids and stuff. And when I was younger, I used to be bullied a lot. So when I see someone getting bullied, I don't care like what happens, but that's not okay. So first of all, stop bullying. Second of all, as short as I am, if you guys don't know this, I'm 4'9". So when when I was 10, I was even shorter. So this kid, Bill or Bob, whatever I named him to be, yeah, he was 8 and he was choking this little kid. He had him up by his neck and he was holding him like in a chokehold. He was literally holding him up in a chokehold, and the kid was like, "Oh my god!" And so I'm like, "Hey, do you need some help?" Like that kid, I forgot how old he was. He was like maybe 5. No, I feel like he was maybe 6 or 7. He was younger than him though. So he had him up in a chokehold, and he's like gasping for air. I'm like, "Do you need some help?" He's like, "Yeah." So I had no idea. Like I was sitting there watching them for like a few minutes before I asked him if he needed help. I had no idea, but the first thing I did is I got up and I headbutted him in the stomach. Not the kid being choked, but the kid that was choking the other kid. That was just the first thing I could think of. So I ran in full speed and headbutted this kid in his stomach. And he immediately drops the other kid, and he's like on his knees, and he gives me like the scaredest look, and he crawls away. Like he just crawls away like a big baby. So that was the first thing, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, she just did that. They had a fight. Oh my gosh," when it actually wasn't really a fight, but we just called it a fight just because it was some kind of action. So so a few years, maybe not a few years, maybe I think next year, he was like, people were talking about the fight because they said I won because I obviously headbutted him in the stomach and he fell and crawled away like a big baby. So he was like, "Oh, that's because I wasn't ready. This year I can beat you," like as if it was some kind of like game or challenge. So he spent pretty much that whole summer trying to provoke and harass me just so I can fight him back. And he did something that really, really, really ticked me off. I forgot what it was. I'm normally a calm person, but he did something that really ticked me off. And I got so mad. We had these little tricycle things that we would just ride around in. They were like these little red ones. I literally picked one up and held it above my head and was about to throw it at this kid's face. Like, I'm dead serious. All the students were surrounding us, and they were all cheering for me because he was just an annoying kid. All the kids were surrounding us, and the teachers had to run out and separate us, even though we weren't even doing anything. He was just standing there like a wimp, and I'm sitting here with this. It's not even big. It's a tricycle. I'm holding over my head, and I'm like, and then so everyone came in and they broke up the fight or whatever, and they called his parents, and I didn't get in trouble because he started it and he was just annoying. So, yeah, that was Bob. The next kid I'm gonna talk about is Amelia. Yeah, another made up name. So, this little girl, she was, I think she has some kind of problems or something, but we used to do a lot of field trips. And one of them was a church, basically, but it was empty. So we just got to hang out and do whatever we want. So we mainly went there when we were going to play dodgeball or have like a game day or something. So they would bring a whole bunch of board games and we would play and run around and do whatever and just have fun. So this little girl, she was really, really weird. So she just had, okay, so the first thing I noticed about her, we were friends. The first thing I noticed about her, she does weird things in the bathroom. One of the things being is that she would take like the biggest crap and not flush the toilet. There was one time we both went to the bathroom at the same time, obviously in different stalls because that's just nasty. But we went to the bathroom at the same time, and I left before her. So afterwards, after I left, she left it after me, I guess. One of the teachers walked into the bathroom and saw a toilet full of like her grossness. So the teacher's like, "Who were the last ones you sent to the bathroom?" And the other teacher was like, "Oh, Shanice and Amelia." And so they called both of us over and made us look into the toilet and tell us who was who, like who did it. And I was like, that's nasty. I used that stall. That was her. She got in trouble for that day. She just has a constant habit of not flushing the toilet because this happened a few times throughout the summer camp days that I was there. Another thing is she went and took, I think it was like hand lotion. They had complimentary lotion that you can use for your hands, obviously. And she went and took the lotion and squirted it all over the toilet and made like designs and squiggly lines literally all over the toilet. And it was nasty. She got in so much trouble for that. And another one, I'm not sure if this is true. I think it's true, but you know, kids make up a bunch of random stuff. But one day I wasn't there, and I don't know, I just wasn't there that day. I don't remember what happened. But I came back the next day, and all these guys were like freaking out. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, Shanice, your friend is crazy. She brought a knife to school." Or it wasn't school, but they called it that because it was still technically a school. They were like, "She brought a knife to school." I was like, "What do you mean?" They were like, "Well, we were like kind of bothering her and making fun of her." And she was like, "You guys better watch what you're saying to me because I have a knife." And of course, they didn't believe her. She went to her book bag and they said she pulled out an actual knife. And then she put it back in the book bag. And they didn't tell the teachers because they were too scared that she would do something crazy. So the next year, they wound up telling the teacher because she wasn't there that year. And, I mean, not all the kids there were crazy and weird, but those are just some of them. There was another kid that I'm just going to call Jeffrey, or Jeff, I guess. I don't know. I'm just making up names here. So this kid, he was kind of like hypocritical. So he would sit there and make fun of Cole all the time. And he was always hanging out with this one kid. Whenever that one kid wasn't there, I guess he would get desperate and go hang out with Cole. And they would act like best buds. As soon as his friend comes back, he would just pretend that Cole was like dead to him. Like he never liked him in the first place. And he would join like the rest of everyone else making fun of him because he was just annoying. So, there was one time he likes to just, I don't really know what the word is. He just likes to, what is the word? He just likes to kind of do things his way, but he's kind of like whiny, I guess. So there was one time we were doing an experiment, if that's what you want to call it, where we just took a pencil and put it in a cup full of water and saw how the water changed how the pencil looks. So we had to draw it. So we all sat in a big table that was shaped like a rectangle, and they gave everyone a pencil and a paper. So I go and grab my pencil, and I'm about to draw this pencil in the water, and Jeff goes and grabs my pencil while I was grabbing my pencil, he grabs it at the same time. He's like, "This is my pencil." I'm like, "No, it's not. Your pencil is right there." He's like, "No, it's mine." And we're like literally playing tug of war with a freaking pencil. So he wanted the pencil so much, so I gave it to him. I let go, and he was holding it like this, and the pencil went and like stabbed him in the gum, like right there. It was so gross. And then so he was crying, making a big deal, and the teacher was like, "Why did you do that?" Blah blah blah, making the biggest deal like it was my fault. So then the teacher was like, go help Jeff clean up." I'm like, "Okay." So he literally just stood there rinsing his mouth off, and I was just standing there. And he's like crying. He's like, "Why did you do that?" I'm like, "Because you wanted the pencil so much, so I gave it to you." He's like, "Yeah, but why did you do that?" I'm like, "I just told you why." And then I just left the bathroom and just left him sitting there crying like a big baby for no reason. Another friend, this one was actually my friend. I had a few friends. Everyone there was just pretty weird. I mean, I was a weird kid too. So we started this weird club called the BPC. And it was held underneath the playground where people sat, like, you know how when you go down the slide, there's like a piece right here, and the slide goes like this, and you slide down? We sat underneath this part. So we called it the BPC because you know how playgrounds have, like, they're made of metal, but they have those little holes underneath? Yeah. We would sit there and take twigs and poke people's butts. And BPC stood for Butt Poking Club. So we would sit there and poke people's butts. And so this one girl named Paul, what was her name again? I don't remember. I'm just gonna make up some name. I forgot the name I gave her. So I'm just gonna say her name is Amy. Yeah, that's gonna be her new name. So Amy, she was like the best artist. She wasn't even 13, and she could draw like realistically. And she was actually really cool. She was one of the people who helped me make the BPC, and I'm actually kind of curious to see where she's at now because she was such a great artist, and she was like, I want to say 10 maybe. I think she was 10 to 11 years old. And so we would all be like, "Oh my gosh." Like, you know the project I just talked about where we had to draw a pencil and a piece in water? Yeah, so we had to draw from different angles. And she made hers look so realistic, it was ridiculous. But it was cool at the same time. We're like, "Oh my gosh, Amy. It's literally a pencil in a cup with water. You didn't have to make it look so detailed and realistic." She's like, "Well, I'm sorry, guys. I just can't help it." But now I can understand where she was coming from because now I'm kind of the same way where it's just to draw something simple and you have to make it look elaborate. Even though it doesn't have to be elaborate, you just make it look elaborate because it's just a habit since I like drawing now. So, yeah. Another thing I wanted to talk about is I remember I said in another video where I sold this laughing cat. So, unfortunately, I don't have it anymore because I just don't have it anymore. Well, the battery in it died, but it was a little black cat that was kind of like had white paws. It was a keychain, and it looked like it was laying down. We was squeezing like, and I thought this cat was magic. Like I don't know what it was. I just loved this cat. So yeah, she was also part of the BPC, but I just had to have that cat, so I just took it. I don't know. Like, I was kind of just like a thief when I was younger. I said this in another video, but when I was younger, I was kind of a thief. Maybe I'll talk about it more in another video because I'm running out of time. Because my phone is full of crap. It'll cut this video off. So, yeah, I guess that's it for this video. Make sure you like up this video and subscribe. Because why not? I mean, even if you don't like me, can you just subscribe? Like, the button's right there. Somewhere around here. Somewhere I have to figure out where I'm going to put it. It's most likely going to be right here. So, yeah. Please press the button. Please. So, yeah. Goodbye, world.